Hi, Andy. How are you?
I am absolutely fantastic. Thanks. How about yourself, Catherine?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I think you and I were just having a quick chat before that we've been both fighting off a bit of a cold or something, and we've been finding that our CDS has been really, really effective for that.
Well, let me tell you about that, okay? So, I haven't had a virus for maybe 3 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, an odd little cold here and there, but on Sunday night as I went to bed, I thought, well, hold on, something's coming on here. I could feel it. And I've been taking my CDS, but it doesn't matter what you take, how healthy you eat, you're still open to viruses. We still get colds and viruses. It's just maybe not as much, and we recover faster, and it don't hit us as bad. So Sunday morning, I woke up and I was rough, really rough. And when I hit that feeling, I know it's going to be 7 days before I start turning around and start to feel really good. Well, start to really feel good, and thought this is really breaking. Well, I up my CDS. I'm on a protocol now with the CDS. I still do all my health foods, everything that I did. The only thing that differed was my CDS protocol. And this is day 4 now. You can still hear it in me. But normally, day 4, when I felt what was coming down, I'd be floored now. Okay, from what I've experienced in the past, I actually feel this is the second day. Day 4 is the second day I'm breaking through. And I can only put it down to, if I had to put it down to one thing, it'll be that CDS. Absolutely amazing stuff. So guys, get on chlorine dioxide. It's amazing stuff. It really is.
Yeah, and the chlorine dioxide solution is what Andy and I are talking about we're doing, but we're not really allowed to mention that on here, so I have to be careful.
Yes.
So I use the code. No, we have to, but
CDS.
I've got it here. And do you know, part of my reason, Andy, which we're going to talk about today. So today, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much to Andrea to being in the chat as always, so helpful. So what we are going to be talking about today is health as a lifestyle. And also, Andy and I have had so many questions over the last month from people who have been very well aware of the shortages on the shelves, of the supply chain issues as well. So we're going to share some tips and special offers with you, because clubbing together with friends and buying stuff in when you can is going to be really important. And it's not fear mongering at all. It's not rushing out and taking stuff off the shelves from others, but it's making sure we're covered, because we're moving into the winter now. So it's a critical time. So Deanna, we'll come back to that question about parasite
I just
cleansing.
took a note of that. Yeah.
Well done. So Andy, if I get carried away as I do, well, remember to come back to that in a bit, Deanna, if that's okay. So Andy, health as a lifestyle, it's something you and I have been working on for all the years that we've known each other. What does that mean to you, and what are some of the key lessons you've learned with this?
Yeah, well, I want to start with this. I literally, before I came on, posted on Facebook. It's something I post every now and then, but it popped up on my feed. I thought I'm going to post that again. And it's a huge picture of just lots of different green vegetables and fruits and things like that, and different colors, oranges and greens and yellows and everything, the whole spectrum, the whole rainbow of nutrition. And, I basically said, listen, this is where real health is. This is where the true quote unquote cures for disease is. But I said, listen, I'm not saying pharmaceuticals don't play a role. We need emergency medicine. There are conditions we need where we need pharmaceutical intervention. Okay, we're not stupid. We know that. But the problem is they're overprescribed, they're overused, and the thing that I have got a big issue with is they are looked upon by the allopathic community as the first line of defense. Go ahead, eat what you want, drink what you want, and when you're ill, take this pill, have that injection. No, it should be go and have some fun, but 80% of the time, look after yourself, eat well, eat well, eat well. When you don't feel well, like I have done the last few days, we've got natural solutions for it. If you really take a huge dive and you need medical intervention from pharmaceuticals, which would be maybe a nano piece of what we would normally need, then it's there for you. So I just wanted to start with that, to say that, everything we were, no matter what people's beliefs are, we came onto this earth, and nature, whoever provided nature for us, whoever created nature, created this amazing array of herbs, fruits, vegetables that will boost our immune system, build our body, and give us a high level of health if we wish to do it. So I wanted to kind of start with that, to say that's where I am on the health side of it, Catherine. I know you're kind of not kind of the same. You're absolutely the same as me.
Yeah, I think that's such an important thing to say. And I reached stuff the other day. I know Mystic Mimi's on the chat. Hi. There and quite a few of the people on the chat have also been on my animal health series, and like just the other day, every week I'm going out and picking the dandelions, the nettles, the cleavers, and not only am I using them in my dog and cat's food, I'm also using them to make for my horses, for ourselves and everything. And it's amazing what nature provides. And I think this is the issue. We've been so brainwashed into thinking that there's a pill for everything. And what I like to do when I'm looking at the healthy lifestyle, I love to concentrate on adding in good things, not worrying about taking bad things out. So when you concentrate on adding in the good, for me personally, and for a lot of the clients I work with, it takes the pressure off that you're not restricting something. So like you, Andy, I go for the 80-20 rule for my animals and myself. If I'm being sensible 80% of the time, 20% of the time, I can really go wild, which I like. So, yeah. We've got a few.
I actually like what Alexandra said there about there is no virus, folks. I get that. Hey, Alexandra, I'm with you. Okay, I'm with you on that. But what I would say as well is this is even on the 80-90%, whatever you do, when we go into the shops and buy food, most of us do spend money in supermarkets, okay, because we either haven't got access in a local vicinity to those local farm foods, no pesticidal foods, organic foods, and there's different levels of organic. What we've got to understand is there are different levels of organic. There are different levels of fruit and vegetables and things on the shelves. And our supply chain, our food supply chain, has been so tampered with over the years, over the decades. We really don't know how good is that broccoli we're eating. How clean is that apple? Where does it come from? Does it come from a foreign country, which is a banana has been refrigerated, frozen, highly refrigerated? All the gases of that have absorbed into it. It comes over to us and there's no nutrition in it. Okay, so eating local foods is brilliant. But the way I get around that is I spend, okay, this is me, I spend about 70% of my allocated budget every month, not to the penny, but around about 70% every month on the highest quality organic superfoods that have been dehydrated into a juice or dehydrated into a powder in such a way that all the enzymes are being kept live and that they are of the highest quality organic nutrition. And that's what I do. There we go. That's what
I'm going to go through some of these later. Yeah,
that's what I do. And that's about, to be honest, Catherine, that's about 70% of my nutrition every day, which means 70% roughly of my weekly budget, monthly budget goes on those superfoods. That I don't pay any extra. That's just where it goes. So I move things around. I don't pay extra. I move things around.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I've got, two-legged and four-legged family, as you know, and most of our money goes on health products because for two reasons. One, because what have you got if you haven't got your health? And secondly, because I love supporting ethical companies with my money, because and that goes to local businesses as well. Absolutely goes to local businesses. That's always the top of my priority, and then I add to that with things I can't get. And one of the things that this time of year, so being a holistic therapist and a biologist, we are coming, depending where you live in the globe, and I know we've got people from all over. We've got a lot of CDS fans on the course as well. I'm so happy. But one of the things that we need to understand is that there's certain cycles that our bodies go through. So those of you that have got animals moving into the autumn, as we'd call it in the UK, or the fall, as you might call it in America, it's when the leaves are coming off the trees. And there's a saying from any natural therapist that your time to sort of detox and cleanse is when the leaves are coming off the trees and going on the trees. So now is the perfect time for us in nature. We would be preparing ourselves for the winter. And those of you in Australia and down under, etc., you're the opposite. You're preparing, coming into your spring and getting ready for that sort of cycle. So animals, you'll notice, will be foraging frantically for the winter. You'll notice that naturally in autumn, there's lots of berries, there's lots of superfoods growing, the nettles have gone mad, etc., to actually really, really help with getting us ready, getting rid of the toxins. And another company I work with, The Roots, we talk about, it's really important. You have to take out the crap and put in the good stuff. And that's so, so important. So what you're talking about, so with the products that you and I use, and we're going to share some of those in a moment, there's loads of different ways we can do these, folks. We can use local supplies. We all live in different parts of the world, so we've all got different things available to us at different times of the year. So making sure that you're using a combination of the resources. But at this time of year, it's really, really important that we're boosting, supporting our immune system, cleansing out those toxins, getting ready for the winter. So
absolutely. And when you think, you hit a great point there, Catherine, that there's throughout the world. So I'm a big believer in wherever you come from in the world, you've got a genetic makeup where your body is going to respond much better to those local products within. So, I'm heavily Northern European. So Northern European type local sources of food is what my body would respond to. But also around the world, there's a lot of different amazing super nutrition that you can get in different vegetables, fruits, plants, herbs, etc., etc. Now imagine being able to, let's just look at banana's not a good one. Let's look at something like I can't think off the top of my head. Let's just take a vegetable that only grows in, let's say India. Okay, a vegetable that's superb for the health, only grows in India. Well, by the time it gets from India to the UK, like I said, if it needs refrigerated, etc., the nutrition's dead in it. It's gone. It's virtually nothing in there. Imagine if they could juice it with dry auger juicing, dehydrate it with cold dehydration proprietary methods, put it into a powder, and within that powder, you're 100% guaranteed when you add water to it, all the enzymes are reactivated as though you were almost, not quite, but almost eating it fresh. Imagine if you could get that sent to you. This is why I do that. This is why I am super, super, super fussy. When I buy a product, it has to carry that type of high quality with it. So imagine being able to get that throughout the world. So it's really important we eat to our indigenous diet, but also we introduce other types of foods into it as well to boost our immune systems and build us up. So that was a really good point, that, Catherine.
Yeah, and I'm loving the comments as well that we've got. Thank you. I love the fact that you're all engaged enough to, put the comments and respond as a community to each other. So we've got some people that are saying in the comments, like Timothy, that they've got loads of farmer markets with fresh products available all year round for those of people that live in hotter climates. And then we've got others like Be Still and Know, where a bit like us and a lot of the UK, where when it's cold, the growing season has stopped and we haven't got accessibility to a lot of these things. So for you and I, it's really, really important that we have access to these extra products, because we just can't get access to them. Or if we buy them from the supermarket, they've been shipped halfway across the world, sprayed. Even if they are organic, the processing that they go through to get to the store and what the store actually do to them when they're there is pretty horrific. Kate, I know you had a comment in there about explain the no virus. Unfortunately, we'll have to do that in a different show because we haven't got time to do that here. But suffice to say, there's a lot of controversy. I'm a biologist, and Andy and I are both holistic health therapists, and there's a lot of controversy as to whether viruses do actually exist or whether they're exosomes from our bodies actually just naturally detoxing ourselves. If you go to my BitChute channel, you'll find some really good videos on there that with Dr. Robert O. Young, who explains it really well. We might do a separate chat on that, but we can't really do that here, I'm afraid. But yeah, a lot of people blame something on an external vector like a virus, whereas a lot of the science is showing that's not necessarily correct, and it's actually
That's
our
another
body
big conversation.
It's a big conversation. So should we have a look at some of these things, because you and I have had
Yeah, before you go any further, Catherine,
yeah.
Another great point you made about getting it from abroad. Unfortunately for you guys in America, in North America, a lot of the products, fresh products that come into the country, into America, unfortunately, they get what's called irradiated. I mean, they're hit with, imagine like 3,300 or 3,000 times, whatever it is, of an X-ray, a normal X-ray, getting fired into the fresh food. It kills it. Okay, but that's what they do. They irradiate it, and there's reasons that they do that. Okay, but they irradiate it. So fresh food, a lot of Americans are getting from abroad and getting shipped in. That's what you get, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. And also the organic standards vary hugely in different parts of the world. So, my daughter's just returned from the USA, and she was a bit horrified to see the difference in the standards of the organic standards, that are there compared to perhaps what we've got in the EU and Europe. So the more we research, it's like everything, the more research, the more we understand the companies we're buying from. If you've got a local market, if you've got local farmers, have the conversation with them and find out how they are nurturing their crops, what chemicals, if any, they're using, what fertilizers they're using. And also you can feel the vibrancy of the food, can't you? So
absolutely,
yeah. We've got some other Sussex. You're near us. Thank you, Julie. You're near us. So let's talk into, because we've asked, a lot of people have been asking us, it's great to see so many people growing their own gardens as well. So we've had a lot of people asking us, particularly with these current shortages that are hitting everyone across the globe at the moment, haven't they? So do you want to talk through some of the products that are on offer?
Yeah. Let's preface it by saying we're not fear-mongering here, okay? We're not scaremongering, but it's always good to be prepared. And if you stock up with things that has got a good shelf life, that are high quality, and you're going to eat anyway, you're not losing out, okay? But you've got that preparedness just in case. And if the just in case isn't needed, it's there anyway, and you eat it as you go on. Now, if you look at the shipping lanes, I mean, you can see aerial satellite views of the shipping lanes around America, around the UK, and in the UK, they are now diverting ships away to different ports in Europe, away from the UK, because they're so clogged up. I'm not getting into why that's happening, but it's happening. And maybe there will be a bit of a shortage for a period of time. Maybe there won't. I don't know. But it's good to be prepared, but don't panic. Don't go and panic buy. Just be prepared. So, yeah, on that side of it, I think there's a great saying, and that saying is, when you see a great opportunity, grab it with both hands and learn about it later. Okay, that's an opportunity. But when I see an opportunity and this is karmic, it really is, when you see an opportunity for these products that you buy every month and eat every single day, and you see there's an amazing opportunity to get them really cheap, go for it. That's what I've done.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of people, it's quite funny because I get a lot of people asking me what I recommend. And then when I do it, they sort of say, well, yes, it's too expensive for them. And I do get that. But what you're doing is, most people, when they're buying a shop, might do a shop every 2 or 3 days or for a week, depending what you've got available to you. So what we actually, a lot of the time when you're buying in products, you're buying them in a much bigger supply. But what I do with some of my friends, when we have these special offers, which we're going to run through, is I pair up with friends locally. So if they've got like a 4 for the price of 3 offer, I might share that with a friend and split the cost between us, so we can all take advantage of the offer and save on postage costs without ordering ourselves. So I would encourage people to be, if you can't place the whole orders for any of the products, we're just showing you the ones that we use for yourselves, then club together, because this community of helping each other out so that it's a win-win situation is going to save you money. It's going to save you a lot of hassle and a lot of stress. So as we've spoken before, is we have yeah, lots of people talking about growing products, which is really good. So Andy and I, if you look on my catherineedwards.live, the health products page or the products page, we work with some companies that we've been using for years and we really, really like and trust the products. So in the UK and the EU, it's called Platinum. In the USA and Canada, it's called Purium. So when you go on to the shop pages, and all the links are off my website, you can go into this quick shop here. And then each month, Andy, they'll show at the top of the list, won't they, what their super offers are. So
yeah, they for me, they are super offers. Everything, the 4 things you see there, one of them, which is the bottom one, I maybe buy every few months, but those other 3 I buy without fail every single month. I have spent personally, okay, now I don't mean to be facetious and I don't mean to be talking down or anything to anybody here. This is just what I do, okay? This is my beliefs. My belief is, somebody literally said to me yesterday, but it's quite expensive to buy a cleanse, Andy. I went, well, you know, how much is your health worth? Now that's easy to say if you can afford it, or if you're struggling, you can't afford it. But the point is, I know people who will go and buy super cheap food, a lot of it, super cheap food. They'll eat a lot of it. So they're putting weight on, number one. Okay, put a lot of fat on. Fat stores toxins. So the more weight they put on, they're storing more toxins. They're eating a lot of the food because their body's craving more because the nutrition isn't there. They could spend that same money on less food, of a higher quality. And as long as they get their mindset to understand that feeling hungry isn't the same as your body needing food. Okay, feeling hungry isn't the same as your body needing food. You could literally cut down on the amount of food that you're eating, condense that nutrition to what we call dense nutrition, spend virtually the same money, but get a much, much higher quality nutritional value out of it. So think about when you buy superfood products, think about that side of it, okay, that expense side of it. Now for me, I've spent over €1,000 this month, which is a lot more than I usually spend, but these things, I bought 3 of these, get one free, and my wife loves the plain. She bought 3 of the plain ones, get one free, on top of what we normally order every month. So we're stocked up for 5 months each.
Yeah, I was going to say, can I just say, Andy, that each one of these pots here is at least a month's supply, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry, it's 4 months for me. Yeah, each one of those pots, if you take 2 scoops a day, which is a really full-on portion, okay? Take take 1 scoop a day, whatever, but 2 scoops a day out of one of those pots lasts you a month.
Yeah.
And 2 scoops is an absolute, 2 scoops of that, I'll tell you right now, for a large majority of people, is more nutrition than those people will probably take in at least a day.
Yeah. And this is what I love, particularly those of you that have got children, teenagers, young adults at university and places like that, or working long hours and everything. Sometimes it's really hard if you're out at work all day to make sure you're getting your nutrients in. So I actually start my day with either this one, and then I am going to go back because for those of us in the UK, I absolutely adore this dark berry one. I mean, I love the green ones, but I'm also addicted to my celery juice. But this one is just amazing for me. It's my absolute favorite. Unfortunately, you can't get the dark berry one in America, but we'll come on to that for the America. And Carol's saying I can't get out to get things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that have that problem, Carol, at the moment. So you can get this delivered, and you can also share with friends if you want to share the costs and take advantage of the special offers. But the reason we wanted to tell you about this is we want you to show you how to find the special offers so you can take advantage of it. Shall I go to the American site, Andy?
Yeah, let's take a look at what the Americans have got. While you're doing that, Deanna came up with a great point there. She says eating clean is cheaper than pharmaceutical to co-pays and repeats a doctor's visit. Now in America, you got a medical. Okay, you've got to go and pay for all of your drugs and everything. We're lucky at the moment in the UK. We don't really need to do that. So in America, then you know what? It does pay in the long run to make sure that you're eating higher quality foods. It pays at any time, but it literally pays out of your pocket, or it pays into your pocket if you don't do that, if you eat properly.
Yeah. I just want, before we go on to these products and showing people where to find the special offers if you're in Canada or America, Nikki's saying, do we have a distributor in the Middle East? Now, these products, they're not our company. These are products that Andy and I have been using for years. And that we also work, recommend on the business side of things, because we both work day to day with clients, because we're health practitioners. Holistic health practitioners. So having things that we know are going to work when you're working with people, there's no point telling them that they need to change their diet if you can't give them recommendations of what's going to work, is there, Andy?
Yes, it's a great question about the Middle East. Yes, I have had them shipped to the Middle East. I've had them shipped to Dubai and to Abu Dhabi. Okay, they're next door to each other. Now, Purium won't do that at the moment with everything's going on in the world. Platinum may do it. So you could get in touch with Platinum, and it's got to be done in a specific way. But to cut out all the hassle, what you could do is whatever somebody needs, say, listen, buy enough to last you a few months. Buy the products, get them sent to you, whether you're in North America, UK, or Europe, get them all sent to you, okay? And just relabel the box, send it out to the Middle East, wherever you want it, okay? Obviously, when it gets to the Middle East, it's out of your hands for what happens with customs and things like that. But that is the simplest way of doing it, is ship it yourself there. But with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, Platinum won't ship worldwide. They used to. Purium. Platinum may, but it does come with a bit of hassle. If you want to cut out all the hassle, order it yourself, get a big supply so they don't have to keep doing it every month, and get it sent out there. That's what I would do.
Yeah. So these are products that you recommend. So if you go to the American site, which is the Purium, and all the links are, Andrea's kindly put the link, but on my catherineedwards.life website, I'll show you that in a minute. You can see the health products. But when you go into the main menu of the Purium site, you will see this specials tab here. So if you click on that, it will always tell you what's on special this month. So my daughter, the athlete, loves the Super Xanthin, Andy. She really, really loves that. But we all know that my favorite is this Biomedic. I mean, this is the one, Andy and I, if you want to find out more about the Biomedic, this is the one that takes the glyphosate, all the nasties out of your system, and really heals the gut and the microbiome. And look back through our playlist, we did a whole show on that, didn't we, Andy?
That's incredible. Great. Yeah. People say to me, most people call them supplements. I call them real foods. Even things like that, it's real food. It's food grade. It's real food. People say to me, if you had to get rid of everything, all the products and everything that you use, and you had to keep one, what would you keep? There it is right there. In North America, it's Biomedic. In UK and Europe, it's called Gut Harmony. That is above everything. If I had to get rid of everything, that is the one that I would keep. For me, it's the most phenomenal product that I've ever seen, because I'm a big believer that most diseases begin in the gut. Okay, we know that disease begins with lifestyle. Okay, inflammation causes disease, but I mean, just about any skin disease that hasn't been from an outside source like a sting, they come from the gut. And the gut holds what, 70%, 75% of your immune system. It's called the second brain. There's more signals fire from your gut to your brain than your brain to your gut. That's where you get that gut feeling. They call it your second brain. Is there a more important area in the body to make sure it's working correctly? Well, you could say the heart or the brain, but you know what I mean. If you want something to be really working correctly for your overall health, for me personally, there is no area better than the gut for that to happen. That's why I'm so passionate about that product.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you go on to them, because when you want to find out more and educate yourself, when you go on to the product, you click on the product, and you'll see different prices. You'll see the loyalty customer price and the retail price. So that's ones that if you order regularly, you get, each time you order, you get a discount, isn't it, Andy?
Yes, yeah.
And
basically, every 30, if you order within 30 days, you will get this discount. If it's after 30, if you order after 30 days, the discount will be less, but you will always get a discount after your first order.
Yeah. And then you click on the product benefits, and it will tell you more. And then you can click on the ingredients. There's full traceability always on all the ingredients. I only work with companies that there's full traceability, and then there's more information with videos and things there. So there's a huge amount of information, and this is absolutely wonderful product for those of you that has got dogs as a general all-round supplement for your dogs. So there's loads there for everyone, and really it's making sure that you keep an eye on those special offers, etc. And no, absolutely not. Probiotics are not the same. If you want to find out more about the difference between probiotics and things, I mean, if you listen MS on to our show that Andy and I did, if you look back through the playlist on YouTube, you'll see one about the biomedic, about the gut harmony, about the gut health, and we explain exactly what it does in there. And if you want to know about the do's and don'ts of biomedic, probiotics MS, then if you look on my animal playlist on my YouTube channel, Dr. Timo and I did a whole section on probiotics this week on Tuesday, and that will explain the difference between probiotics and the type of supplements we're talking about here, because it's quite complicated. So yeah, so we have got we're looking at making sure we change the lifestyle of people, isn't it, Andy? And I think one of the things a lot of people do, they really get into issues where they've got health issues or challenges, and they'll do things for a short term of time, but they don't keep up with it. But the reason we talked about a healthy lifestyle is this is sort of incorporating this into your daily eating habits. As you say, to us, these are food, not more than supplements, aren't they?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm actually going to incorporate Deanna's question about the parasite cleanse there, okay?
Good.
But I'll qualify that by saying parasites are some of the most freaking intelligent things on this planet. They've been here millions of years before us, and they'll be here millions of years after us, the same as bacteria, okay? They are incredibly intelligent. Don't mess with parasites, okay? However, unless you speak to somebody who can help you with, you may need a bespoke cleanse if it's a certain type of parasite. However, you can err on the side of safety, and you can do gentle type of parasitical, or do a cleanse and have a very gentle parasitical protocol within that, and that won't harm anything. Okay, so just be aware, parasites, clever little buggers, as I call them, parasites. Okay, they can literally mimic your DNA. Okay, they can mimic your DNA to get around you trying to get rid of them out your body, but there's lots of different types. But you can do certain things. So going back to this conversation I had yesterday with somebody, lovely guy, but he said, you know, the cleanse is expensive, Andy. I have done one. I loved it. I said, well, here's the thing. A cleanse, a 10-day cleanse, is there to basically reboot your metabolism, to give you a holiday or a vacation from processed foods, to rest your gut, to reboot everything. Do that 10 days. On that 10 days, Deanna, there's a gentle parasitical protocol in with it as well, okay, which would be great. That's in with it as well in those 10 days. After those 10 days, exactly what Catherine said, my advice to everybody is use those 10 days as a reboot. And after that reboot, don't go back to what you used to do. Some of you might be living really healthy. That's fine. Go back to that. But the people who maybe do an 80-20 and they do a 20-80 instead, and people who maybe haven't got, because a lot of people don't have that 80-20, they'll do 50-50, 20-80, whatever. You know, use this as your launch pad. Use a 10-day cleanse, gentle cleanse that Platinum and Purium offer as a launch pad to launch your health into super vitality for the future, because you will. Once you've done a 10-day cleanse, then you can play about with Catherine's advice. Well, Catherine, what would you advise for me to purchase every month to help me stay on track? Okay, I'm going to give you a simple example, which I gave to this person last night, is once it's done, purchase the Hippocrates Power and the amino acids every single month. And then maybe every other month, try adding something else in, or try changing the Hippocrates Power for something else. And play about with it. Play about with it. There's the aminos. They're on offer this month. Buy 3, get the 4th one for free. That is the most incredible offer that they've ever had with the aminos, because those amino acids, for me personally, are the best amino acids I've ever experienced on the planet. And I've experienced a lot of amino acids over my years of training. So use a 10-day cleanse as your launch pad for super vitality for the future. Don't waste those 10 days and just go back to what you used to do. Use those 10 days, feel good, and keep that good feeling going by breaking yourself back in to normal eating. But like Catherine said, maybe in the morning, have a few amino acids, a couple of scoops of shake, and that's your breakfast for the morning. And that's going to be you day after day, week after week, month after month. So definitely use things like that as that boost, as that launch pad to bring health and vitality into your life. Like maybe some people might not have experienced that before. You know, some people that I know, they've done the 10-day cleanse, and the feelings that they've got have totally been life-changing for them. Totally life-changing. We can't use the word cure, but what I do say is when you're putting high-quality nutrition into your body, you are speeding up the process of allowing your body to heal itself. That's exactly what you're doing. You're speeding up the process to allowing your body to heal itself. That's what you're doing when you change your lifestyle, when you start eating healthy. But you can start off with a 10-day bang and use that as the launch pad. And it literally can be life-changing. I've seen it. Me and Catherine, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say me and Catherine between us have definitely, directly or indirectly, helped change thousands of lives. Between us and other people, maybe tens of thousands. I don't know, okay, indirectly. And this is one of our go-to companies that we suggest people take a serious look at to help them get themselves on track and keep themselves on track.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add to that, and it is so true. And this is why Angie and I share this information, because we are so passionate, because one, we've been there and done it ourselves, and also two, between us, we've worked with so many different clients, and we're always sharing our information and learning. So because that's the whole point, is new products do crop out, new information, new challenges pop out. I mean, I've never, for those of us that watch any of my other videos we've done, everyone globally, I mean, pretty much in most countries, are saying that the chemtrails have been off the scale the last few months. Now, there's new challenges that have been put on us and our animals.
No, they're just clouds.
All the time. Yeah. Now, I did want to address this. Linda was saying, how do you know if you have parasites? And then, you know, Timothy was saying about if you eat meat. Now, everyone has parasites. And we all should have parasites. So parasites are an important part of our microbiome. And you can get parasites even if you haven't eaten meat, because you will get parasites from vegetables and from interacting with the environment. So we are not aiming for no parasites. In fact, those of us who have got animals, and particularly those who have got horses, have seen that the science has changed dramatically, because when we used to do worm counts or, you know, examining poo to see what parasites were being shed, you used to aim for 0. And now they know 0 is very dangerous, because it means you're killing off all the microbiomes. So what we're looking at is maintaining a healthy microbiome where the parasites are working within balance within your system and not taking over. And the same goes for fungal infections, bacterial infections and everything. We are not looking to wipe all these guys out. We're looking for them to remain in balance with our system. So there's loads of different parasites and loads of different ways that you would know, Linda. But if you're struggling to move your health forward onto the next level, then doing a gentle parasite cleanse is really important. And as I said, as Andy said, we really like the one that's included in the Purium or Platinum Health cleanse, because it works at the same time as you're giving your body a rest from processed food, because parasites feed on unhealthy foods, and that's when they become into multiplying. So a lot of people have, for example, candida issues, and that purely feeds on carbohydrates, but the wrong type of carbohydrates. So lots of good comments in here. Yeah, there are lots of different things for great to killing parasites. They've all got their pros and cons, and like anything, you know, you've got to really do your research and make sure you're using products that are working. So, for example, some of the antiparasitics that are safe for humans are not safe, for example, for certain species of animals, and vice versa. So do your research, and anyone using the Purium or Platinum product, I am here to help and support you. So like Andy said, if people need support through a cleanse, I'm quite happy if there's a group of you that want to do a cleanse, to do a cleanse support group where we have a couple of Zoom calls during the cleanse to keep people on track and answer questions. If you've done a cleanse and you want to know for your particular circumstances, what are the best products for you to get on an ongoing basis, which might change summer and winter, for example. So, you know, I am here to support people. So long as they've done their sort of side of the education as well. So long as you've looked at it, sort of worked out whether it was right for you, and then I'm absolutely here to support you. And Andy's always been the most amazing support for me because he shares all his knowledge so wisely and so frequently. So food is a massive point of view. We've covered about, you know, making sure you're prepared and you've got good, easily to use products in stock. Anything else you wanted to cover about that, Andy?
Yeah, just be prepared, okay? Even outside of what's going on in today's world, always be prepared, because you never know when you're not going to be able to go to the shops. You never know when you're not going to be able to get hold of the certain foods that you want. So I've always been prepared. I'm just more so prepared, just in case our shelves. Now, our shelves over in the UK, we had a fuel issue a couple of weeks ago. Okay, it was a contrived narrative that made people go out and panic buy fuel. Okay, what happens when people who usually spend £30 a week on fuel, they all go out and buy £90 a week on fuel? The fuel runs dry. That's what happened. Okay, the same can happen with the shelves. People go and panic buy. So what happens if people do go and panic buy, and it takes 3 weeks for the shelves to fill back up, and people realize, why did we do that? Well, to have things in stock for times like that is great. And excuse me, why not have something that's got a fantastic shelf life on it? Because it's dehydrated, and as soon as you add water to it, it brings back those live enzymes. So always be prepared on the food side of it. Now, I class all of this as food. It could be food in the form of a fresh veg, fresh fruit, fresh meat, whatever, or it could be in a dehydrated form, or it could be herbal in a powder form, or in a pill form, or whatever. So, you know, just be prepared, guys. Be prepared to make sure that if you've got to go a few weeks without being able to go to the shops, maybe you'd be unfortunate, you broke your leg, and there's no one to go shopping for you. Imagine if you've got your shelves full of things that, okay, I don't really fancy eating that for the next 3 weeks, but it's not going to keep me alive. After 3 weeks, you're going to feel frigging amazing because it's the highest quality foods. Actually, that would be doing you a favor for your health. So just be prepared for any outcome whatsoever. And if you don't need it, you're going to use it anyway. Buy it, top it back up. Buy it, top it back up. You're going to use it anyway. You're not preparing, and then if nothing happens, you're going to throw it away. You're always going to use it. So be prepared for any eventuality in life, even outside of everything we're going through now.
And Andrea knows, Andrea, who's so helpful, who's in the chat, and Andrea and I love our celery juice, don't we? And we love the medical medium. But when Andrea and I meet up, we have some fun because we make up the green shake or the berry shake, and we make it like in a little cocktail glass, and it's so delicious. It is so delicious. And the amount of people I've served it up to, and when you serve it in a nice glass and give it, they're like, oh, this is lovely. What's this? You know, it's amazing. I think Deanna's made a really good point here. There's a lot of fake companies sneaking in chemicals. The amount of horrendous superfood companies Andy and I see, it really makes me cry because they're so misleading to people. Now, anyone who works with Andy and I, you know, when companies first start working with us, we're a pain in the arse, aren't we, Andy? Because we ask so many questions and we really do our homework. So both Andy and I have personally both been out, you more than me, Andy, to America to audit this company, to attend the conferences, to look at their production facilities. We've both been out to Germany to look at the Platinum Health. this is the level we go to when we're working with companies.
I want to look somebody in the eye. I want to look the owner, the formulator in the eye, and I want to ask them questions. And I've had the pleasure, like you have, Catherine, the pleasure of doing that multiple times. And not once have they flinched. And everything they've told me, they can back up with science. They can back up with proof that they're doing it. They can back up with audit trails, absolutely everything. So that, it's very, very difficult to find a company like that. And I got to say, talking about being a pain in the ass, it's not a pain in the ass, but wow, when I first met Catherine, she absolutely hammered me, and I loved it. I loved it because the questions she was asking me, I never thought of asking that, and that. So I got all those questions answered, and that's when you're with the right company. Let's just say you're getting your products from the right places. Okay, we use plenty of companies, but this is what we do. We are a pain in the ass to companies, but if the company can answer our questions, trust me, if they get people like myself and Catherine on board, they're in good hands. They know their company are going to do well, because I know Catherine. I love Catherine. I've known Catherine for years now. And if Catherine said to me, Andy, drink that, it's good for you. Honestly, Catherine is one of the very few people on this planet that I would do without question. I would question, but I would do without question, because I trust Catherine so much. Companies know that's what they've got when they can answer Catherine and myself questions like that, because people trust us. Because we're authentic, we're genuine, and we do this from the heart. We do it because we want to help people. Do we make money from certain things? Of course we do. Money makes the world go round. I'm not going to lie about that. But the thing for me, number one, if I do make money, it has to come from the right place, and I have to do the right things with it. But before those two things, I have to be doing it for all the right reasons. And that's what me and Catherine do. We love what we do. We absolutely love what we do. So if you ever introduce something to Catherine, beware, you're going to get a lot of questions,
And people have seen that with, one of the new companies I've been working with, but I only work with passionate people. Now, Linda's asked a very good question here. Linda doesn't eat processed food. She eats a lot of organic food, fruit and vegetables. Do I still need a cleanse from your products? It's up to you, Linda. So every single person on this chat and watching it afterwards will be in a different position, because we've all got different challenges. So if you take me, I do eat very healthily. I spend a huge amount of time in nature. My microbiome is really good because I'm always out with the horses, the dogs, the guinea pigs, the cats. So my hands are constantly in dirt and earth and a lot of poo. But where my weak point is, and I was speaking to Andy before this, is sleep. Because I tend to work very late at night. I do the animals late at night, early in the morning, but also at this time with all these ascensions and various things going on in the planet, I've been having the most ridiculous dreams for months now. So sleep, which is such an important part of our healing process, hasn't been great for me. So what I do is I have to work harder at my health to help my body repair, because I know I'm missing out on important sleep at the moment. Whereas other people will be getting lots of really good sleep and regeneration and repair. So again, I'm very happy to help advise people. If people have a simple question, just email me through. If you've got a more in-depth one, then I will suggest that we end up having a consult. And the reason for that is you can't advise professionally with people if they've got multiple health issues, if they're on medication, etc. So for Linda to know, what she needs, it would be really, how are you feeling? What are you feeling you need to work on with your diet? Are there certain bits that are missing? So Andy, you were mentioning the maps, and people know I'm a vegan, and vegans can very healthily get enough protein. If I'm on a busy day working really long hours, sometimes I'm not that great at preparing. So those days I can live off my Purium stuff and know I've got everything I need. And then other days, today, where my lovely daughter has made me the most brilliant, nutritious lunch, I don't need to take them. So it's a really good question, Linda. And I think it's really, really important to look at everyone as an individual, and we're all in different areas of the world, different circumstances, different challenges, different stress levels, and we adjust it for ourselves.
And if anybody wants to know how good those aminos actually are, go back through Catherine's playlist. We actually did a great show on that one,
Yeah.
Catherine. That was really, there's some super information on there.
Yeah. So we've all got different challenges. And I think the thing is to be aware of them. So because I'm aware that my body's not repairing as much because I'm not giving it as much sleep at the moment as it needs, then I'm aware of that so I can compensate for it. So I think that's really key about being honest with yourself about where you're at. And Timothy's got a lovely thing here, walking barefoot everywhere. I was just talking to someone about this. I think, Andy, you're the one that introduced me to the barefoot shoes as well, which I know is not the same, Timothy, as walking barefoot, but sometimes in the UK in the winter it's easier. But I love walking barefoot as much as I can.
Timothy, you are going to be one supercharged dude. Honestly, you're going to be so grounded and supercharged from the earth, walking barefoot everywhere. It's amazing. It's a shame we can't all do that, walk barefoot everywhere.
So I think that's probably it for today. The final thing I wanted to say, Andy, is just we've got really enlightened people. We always get really great people on our chat and more people watching it afterwards. If people are interested, Andy and I haven't covered the business side of things at all, but a lot of people are looking for more ethical businesses to do at the moment. So if anyone is wanting to get involved in the business side, it's not something I push at all. But if people do, then feel free to approach me and Andy and I can jump on a call with you and find out whether, it's going to be a good fit for you. And we've got really good contacts in America for people as well, haven't we, Andy?
Yeah, we have. And I'll tell you something as well. The business side has absolutely exploded. And initially it was because people were getting laid off. From 18 months ago, people were they were getting furloughed, etc. They were getting a percentage of their money cut away, and they realized there was other ways of making money. Well, they're trying to take it a stage further now. And if you don't get the shabbery dabbery, if you don't get that, there's a lot of places. I mean, Australia's the worst. It's happening in the UK. It's happening in America. If you don't get the shabbery dabbery magic juice inside you, then you're not going to work. Simple as that. So, I don't believe it's going to get to that. I believe other things are going to happen. But it's great to have a backup. It's great to have a backup. Always be prepared. Scout's motto: always be prepared. So 100%. It's myself and Catherine be more than happy to help you with that. Again, because we're coming from the heart, we want to make sure people do have another option to be able to earn money.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you reach, all my contact details are always under the videos. Andy, I will add yours in here as well. If people want to contact me first, and then I can sort of get Andy involved. I love Bob. Bob, he lives in the most beautiful place in Australia. Done some lovely chats with Bob. He's really great, and he does lots of walking barefoot, so that's fantastic. Andrea, who is he's on the chat, does the most amazing work with people's feet and nails. And because I do so much barefooting and walking, Andrea, I wouldn't dare give you my feet to work with, because I live in a place called Blackheath and it's black sand, and you can imagine it's not a pretty sight. So thank you so much, all of you, for your participation. We really appreciate you, don't we, Andy, joining this?
Oh, yeah.
Pleasure. And
I know everybody thanks us for doing this, but guys, without you, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be doing this without people coming on and listening. So thank you. You guys, give yourselves a huge pat on the back, because what you're doing by listening to Catherine's podcast and everything else you're doing, listen to other podcasts. Some of you be doing your own podcasts. We're all learning. And we're all spreading the word, and we're all learning from each other to be able to take our lives on every level to the next level. And that's what it's all about. So thank you, everybody coming on, and everyone who's listening in the future to this. Appreciate every single one of you.
Lots of love, everyone. Andy, thank you so much for giving up your time. And we
More
will
than a
get
pleasure.
another one in soon. If people have got any questions, any suggestions for what Andy and what you want to hear us talking about next, please do email me. I'm more likely to see an email than I am a comment under the video. I do try and watch the comments under the video, but I don't really have a time to check all of them. So if you want me to respond, please do email me, and we're always open for suggestions, aren't we, Andy?
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
Thanks then. Thanks, Andy.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Bye.